your ball in the trees and then you lip out the putt. But if you've got a little time, then come and spend it with us, 'cause now you're listening to The Rough Cut.
Hello, and welcome down to yet another episode of the Rough Cut Golf Podcast. And you find us on location in the wonderful city of Atlanta, Georgia. I have myself, and we also have Mick.
You have yourself.
I do have myself, although it is a state of reality I'm constantly questioning. We're in Atlanta for one specific reason. It's the Tour Championship, which is taking place at Eastlake. And nay, control one's excitement, I'm not playing in the final event of the PGA Tour season, but I have just played in the Creator Classic. We're going to be talking through that, what it was all about, the huge positives to come from it, the niggly negatives maybe at times, and then halfway through this podcast we're going to disappear from here, and then the lads are going to round up the Tour Championship. I am going to be far too busy and important on Monday to be filming with you, I'm afraid.
That's fine. Future Mick, along with Jacob and imagine David potentially, because Kieran's...
No, because David's with me.
David's with you, so it's just me and Jacob.
You and Jacob, yeah. Maybe we'll rope Sam in.
We'll get Sam in.
Yeah, could rope Sam.
I would love Sam.
So that's going on today. So it's Friday today, so we don't know the winner, but congratulations, Scotty. You've had an unbelievable season.
I was just going to say, do we not know the winner, or do we just know, we don't know how much Scotty won by, is what we're saying?
Yeah, I mean, Scotty's currently 7 clear after the first day, and, you know, having practiced to him, quite close to him on the range of the putting green, on the chipping green, you know, we're basically best friends, and I'm almost certain he's going to win.
I'm pretty sure he's going to win also. We're going to get into the format of the Creator Classic, but we will briefly touch on the format of the Tour Championship, because I think the format's absolutely terrible.
No, well, don't go off on that now. Just wait.
Okay, we'll come back
to
it.
Wait.
Let's talk about the Creator Classic then.
Okay.
Let's talk us through the format, the prize. We'll get into the course a little bit later in a little bit more detail, but talk us through what it was, why we were there, what it was. Go.
So the PGA Tour, along with a new production company called Pro Shops, which are behind Full Swing and, you know, the Netflix documentary and a few other things, decided it would be a good idea, and in my estimation, a very wise one, to bring together creators from, say, all over the world, but mostly from the States, and then me, although we did have Mac and Luke as well, to play a 9-hole event over the back 9 of Eastlake, where the winners after 8 holes, the best scores, would go through to a final 4-person playoff, and then whoever emerged victorious from that would be the inaugural Creator Classic champion.
Yeah, so 8 holes, and then play down 18, the last 4. Yes.
That's French for yes.
It's French for yes. Unfortunately, you were not in that.
No, I wasn't.
Not in that 4-man playoff down 18.
Spoilers, Mick.
Yeah, I mean, it was a live event. If people haven't watched it by now, then, by the way, spoilers, Pete didn't win.
Spoilers. I'm pretty sure if you haven't watched it live, then you probably will know the result if you are interested in this type of thing. I played all right. I was pretty happy with how it all went. I was obviously very nervous playing in front of that many people on a very, very tough course with absolutely lightning fast greens, the fastest I've played on this year, which actually helped me. I was quite surprised. Normally, when I'm playing and the greens are quick, in my head, at least, I'm a little bit nervous. But I switched it around a little bit before I played. I was like, they're so fast. All you need to do is get them started online. The ball will get to the hole. And it works, yeah. Put it really, really well.
Do you think that the small amount of time we spent on the putting green beforehand was helpful? Because people, we had seen online, on social, lots of the tour pros saying, these greens are so quick. The creators are going to struggle. Yeah. Do you think it was really helpful to be on that green for a little bit?
A little bit, but I also have to say the rampant disrespect from the tour professionals about the golf creator community. Oh, unbelievable. You know what? We're not the best players in the world. Everybody knows that. We're making YouTube videos, just having a great time, living life to its fullest. We're not out here competing for millions of dollars like these boys are. But we're not all complete choppers. Like, admittedly, at times, it does look like I'm trying to harvest a field of hay. But at others, every now and again, I can hit little thins and heels around the course as good as anybody.
Yeah, there's some good golf in there.
deep down.
Somewhere.
But no, it was because it's just that you don't play courses of that kind of quality really any week of the year. It's just perfect. Fairways were like carpets, greens were so firm. The whole course had been completely relaid 8 months ago, which is absolutely fascinating in itself. The pictures of what it was like. I mean, pretty much as soon as the putt, I don't know if you remember this, as soon as the winning putt rolled in last year, they started ripping up the course.
As the last group were moving off a hole, they were ripping it out.
They started on the same day.
Wow.
Which is extraordinary. And to get that course in that condition within that time period is amazing.
Yeah, I heard 8 months it took them to redo the entire thing, but it must have, about a calendar year almost.
I can't get my head around it. That's absolutely fantastic. And they've done a great job. I thought the course was really, really good. The prize, and again, if you've not seen it, little spoiler, Luke Kwon, who's in our group, he won. We'll talk about how he got there and what a few of the other players did in a moment. But the prize was actually very, very cool. Now, the first prize, the whole event was sponsored by Blackstone, which initially when I saw that, like, we both thought it was like a military contracting company, but Blackstone.
Yeah, we were joking that it does sound like a combination of Blackbriar and Treadstone.
Yeah. Like we thought we found Jason Bourne, basically, as the honorary starter on the first tee. But they're an outdoor cookware company, like grills and barbecues and all the rest of it. As you may expect, in the UK, that's not like top of everyone's agenda because we have a barbecue like once a year.
Yeah, we love a barbecue, but most of our barbecues happen in the rain.
Because it's a rare event.
Dad's underneath the umbrella outside while everyone else is inside waiting for the sausages.
I would put having a successful barbecue like on the same level as like your wedding day, like the birth of your first child. It's such like a rare event. And if it goes well,
hire a photographer.
It's unbelievable. So yeah, we've not really heard of Blackstone, but everyone who entered into the event got this outdoor 36-inch griddle, which is like
massive.
It's probably
it's wide as both of us.
It's wide as us, obviously as hot as us, gas powered as well. And then we all got one of these massive things. Now, I've got this shipped to my parents because like my house in Manchester, it's like as big as our yard.
You haven't got the room for one of those boys.
So that's nice and it looks amazing. So hopefully we'll be able to get around my mum and dad's at some point and have a nice outdoor griddle barbecue. So the winner got a fancier version of that.
Yeah, so everyone got one, but Luke got a bigger one.
Yeah, with a few more bells and whistles, I believe, as the saying goes. But the other prize,
which I think was better,
for a golf audience, I would say so. Like if you're into outdoor cooking, maybe the Blackstone's the main goal here. However, also this event was like partnered up with PGA 2K. Well, 25 it's going to be, isn't it?
24. No, 23 is just out. 24 is just about to come out, isn't it?
I'm sure it works the other way.
You'd expect so.
Well, either way.
Yeah. The next PGA 2K game.
Yeah. Luke Kwon, because he won, is going to get like his character in the game. He's going to have like a course named after him. I don't know if he gets to design this course.
I don't know if he's going to be in the game, but I think he gets to design and build and then name a golf course in the game.
I think he's in the game.
And he also gets his own like merch and apparel, or you can, the Luke Kwon collection or whatever. Yeah. I don't know if are they going to put like scan his head like a FIFA player and put him in the game?
Well, I mean, I think it'd be pretty weird if they had a course named after him, apparel, and then you're like, okay, what am I going to dress Scotty Scheffler in? I know, the Luke Kwon range. So I'm pretty sure...
It's just every T-shirt just says, okay.
I'm pretty sure Luke is going to be in there.
I hope so.
Because ultimately, I mean, that's an incredible prize. Like, that would force me to get a PlayStation and actually get that game.
Yeah, I think you're right. For a golf fan, something like that is like designing. Everyone wants to design their own course and then go and play it. So yeah, massive prize.
It was quite cool actually. I did feel like we were exceptionally well looked after, and when we got to Eastlake, I mean, it's been absolutely roasting this week. It's been way harder than anything we're used to. Like, certainly playing golf, like mid-30s. We got to the tent by the the grandstand, should I say, by the first tee, and they had all these things for us, like what they call it, gifting, didn't they?
A gifting suite.
Gifting suite. So we got in there. We had the grill from Blackstone.
Yeah. Yep. They are like, put your dad's address on here so we can ship it to you. Did you see her face also when she looked, basically had to fill out a form to tell them where you wanted them to send it, because they had the office address originally, didn't they? Which would have been awkward. Let's collect that from downstairs and get it in the lift. Did you see her face when you put a UK address on there? She was like, yeah, we can make that work.
Gonna have to. I want my Blackstone.
Yeah. Donna was great in the gifting process. She was good.
And Donna also took us around. We got like some PGA 2K goodies. Got a pillow which had to leave because it was like massive.
I gave it to a fan.
You gave it to a fan. Okay, that's good. We got some Sugarloaf gear merch. We got bottles. We got head covers. We got some travel bags. We got a Scotty Scheffler training aid, which is like a stick with a string on the end of it.
That's also getting shipped, so that's arriving at your dad's house.
God knows what that is. We got some whiskey. We got some tequila. We got golf balls. We got
backpacks,
Whoop stuff.
Yeah.
We got way too much stuff. But yeah, it's good because I get to just give it out to people now. So
yeah.
There's a few things I'm keeping.
What from the list is definitely coming home with you? I know the whiskey's going home.
The whiskey's coming home. The Whoop straps, I think they'll probably
they're in the golf bag already.
The grill's going.
Your dad's getting the grill.
Dad's getting the grill.
Nice.
Probably that Scotty Scheffler training stick. That'll go up the office.
Yeah.
Probably take that to tournaments with me. I'll have to go through it all because
there's a lot of stuff in there.
That bag of teas. That bag of teas is going in my bag.
So shout out to Sugarloaf, because the guys from Pro Shop who did all the full swing stuff and also ran the event, they have just purchased Sugarloaf, and the two guys who are in charge of making decisions on behalf of the Sugarloaf team were like really nice. And me and Blake from Good were chatting them up a little bit, and they were asking us about what we would like to see as golf fans, as people who get things. What would we like to see? And they were just very cool. One of the coolest things they had available was that pouch, which was just full of golf tees. That is going to last you for an entire year, Peter Finch.
Last for an entire round. There's very few things I get excited about, but free tees is definitely one of them. Did you manage to sneak any off the 10th when we teed off?
No, I did think about it. I didn't want to be the only, I was working, so I didn't want to be the only person, grabbing a handful of those and shoving them into my pocket. But they did look after us really well. It was pretty incredible to be treated as nicely as that.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
I went back and got a few more.
Did you actually?
I was all demure to begin with. I took like literally 9 tees, enough to see me through the round. And then I went back and just grabbed like a proper handful. But they were you could tell the quality of water was like,
they're dipped.
They were solid. The whole place was like so classy though. So before we got to play as well, we were in the clubhouse. We got to use the players' locker room. It felt like a completely different event to anything that we've done, to anything that we've seen. And we'll get on to if these things are going to carry on in a bit. But for me, it was all round just brilliant from the aspect of actually playing in it and being part of the experience. Like what people thought about watching it, I suppose, get down to the comments and let us know if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to this, head over to our socials and let us know. But for me, it was a pretty big success.
The real question is, why did we get invited in the first place? Because, they kept going on the broadcast about how you were the only person, the only Englishman in the field. And of course, you have been doing this for a very long time. And you're one. I think it's really cool as someone who watched you for a long time before I ended up working for you, to see the people that we now watch go, oh, Peter, I'm a massive fan and I've watched you since day one.
Yeah.
What made them invite you, do you reckon? Invite us as a team to come over here and make a video?
When I was chatting to some of the team and like chatting to a lot of people behind the scenes, I feel like, on a side note, I've been very, very businessy this week. I feel like I've made a lot of good contacts.
A lot of hands were shook.
I've shaken a lot of hands. Not kissed many babies.
Zero babies.
Yeah, but, you know, I've been all businessy. You know, things like, you know, I won't go into. I was going to give some away there. Yeah. But yeah, it's been great. And when we were chatting to everyone, like one of the reasons that, you know, we were invited, apart from obviously doing this a long time, producing videos, was the work that we did at the queue at Myrtle Beach, which was early in the year. If you've not checked out the video, please do. Chance to qualify through to a PGA Tour event. You know, we made a really good job of the video, from the filming, from the edit with Jacob, from you know, me playing decent golf for a change.
Yep.
Everything about that video was really, really good, and the people who kind of organised this event and people behind the scenes of the PGA Tour watched that video and really liked it. So it kind of shows that I think these videos, when we do them, they are getting seen by a lot of people, and probably a lot of people we don't expect, which is nice. I think it's good to know that.
I think sometimes we make these videos and then we put them out into the world, and then our brains kind of just, you know, that's done, it's out. You know, we'll monitor it and we'll keep an eye on how it's doing, and we'll, you know, thumbnails probably get switched if things aren't quite doing it. But like we never really go back and try and understand who is watching them. So it's really nice to be able to say that, you know, the guys from the PGA Tour, the guys from Pro Shop have seen some of the stuff we've done and gone, these guys are very good, so let's invite them out, which was great.
Yeah, which is nice. But that's like, I mean, you know, it's what we've been trying to do as well, like over the past few years especially, is keep improving the videos, keep getting better, keep trying new things, keep elevating things. And I think we've reached the point now where we are, you know, we're making videos I think we can be really, really proud of. But also at the same time, I think there's lots that we can improve on. So we're in a really nice spot. So that's the reason why we got invited. I think, like Rick, for example, I think he's on holiday at the moment. So I don't know if he got invited or not.
Yeah, I wonder if they shot him an email and said, "Are you free?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm sunning myself somewhere." Which
is fine.
Yeah. Grant also wasn't there. Grant Horvath,
yeah. A lot of people asking questions about kind of who wasn't there. Obviously, we can't speak for anyone, like we don't really know, but the people who were playing, I think it was a really just solid, good collection of golfers from across the spectrum, from across this space. Like Tyler, for example, from Do Perfect. You know, he's not a golf creator specifically. I know Do Perfect do golf challenge videos.
He said in his interview, we've made golf adjacent content before.
Exactly. So, but he's a mad keen golfer. So to have him there was obviously a big draw for the crowds, for example, as well. And, you know, we had Micah, we had Garrett, you know, we've got Luke Kwon, who was there, got Brad Good, we've got Sean Good, we've got Gabby Golf Girl, we've got Paige, you know, got Amy Cho. We had a massive selection from 16 players, I think it was in the end. So to make up those numbers, I don't know how the PJ came up with the names. I've absolutely no idea. But overall, I think the groupings that we had were pretty successful.
Which calls, you know, their first call would have been, you know, let's get XYZ there. Which number on the call sheet do you think you were when they called you to come and play in it?
I don't know.
How many people turned down your spot, do you reckon?
I don't know. I don't even want to think about it. No, I'm gonna be confident. I'm gonna say we were top 10.
Okay.
I'm gonna say we were top 10.
Okay, I can take top 10. Now, somewhere where you weren't top 10 was in the PGA Tour's pre-tournament predictions. There was a lot of talk about that list that they put out on their website, which quite rightly had Wes Bryan at number 1. But it did, unfortunately, have Peter Finch at 16 out of 16. So talk to me about how that felt.
So there were a few like pre-event predictions. Okay, now one of them was like there was an odds. I think it was from golf bet. I'm not sure, but I think we were about like 8th or something like on that. And there's a few more, and then there's like the PGA kind of power rankings that was on the website. We'll try and find the list, and yeah, out of the 16 players, I was bottom of the list,
Yeah.
which, gotta be honest, didn't really affect me at all.
Didn't feel good, but it didn't feel bad.
It seemed like a lot of people were a lot more offended on my behalf.
Yeah, there were Tyler. In fact, Tyler from Dude Perfect was like, he came up to you when we were about to go out, and he was like, "Dude, you've got to live up to that 16th place, that 16th place ranking that they've given you there." I think the low expectation maybe helped you out.
No, not really. I've got higher expectations of myself, but I'm turning over. Yeah, we've spoken about this. I've spoken about this a little bit in videos recently, but I'm turning over a new leaf as far as my golf game, how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling, how I'm planning things, and putting a lot less emphasis on what people think about me and my game and how I'm playing, and being a lot more self-reliant really on what I think about my game, and not really letting other people kind of comment and dictate what I should be doing, which definitely has happened in the past.
Very demure, very mindful.
Thank you. So when I saw that, it was just funny. It was just funny, and the stuff like that, it really, really doesn't bother me. And I think the PGA Tour, either by hook or by crook, did a really good job of driving up engagement with those posts, because everyone jumped in. Because it's an opinion thing, isn't it? If you rank 16 golfers, who's going to be on top, who's going to be bottom, everyone's going to have an opinion on whether it's right or not. So,
yeah, I mean the internet was awash with people defending you, which was wonderful.
Yeah, which was nice. I don't think I had anyone telling me I should have been lower. Which, again, I'm trying not to let outside noise affect me too much. But it was nice that people were saying, "Oh yeah, you should be 16th. You are trash.
Yeah, you are quite rightly rubbish.
You are literally the worst golfer I've ever seen." No one ever said that. That's nice.
Now, unfortunately, I think you maybe put yourself in that situation, because did you see the quote that they put next to it? They put Peter Finch, ranked 16th out of 16. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
No handicap because you're a PJ Pro, and then the comment was, Pete has described his own golf game as a burning dumpster fire of pain and anguish. Let's see how he does, basically. So they went off your own description.
Mick, that's just poor research.
Listen.
I said that back in March.
I know,
and it was a joke.
I don't know. Have you seen the video where I broke 80 around Pinehurst?
Oh wow, yeah, by one, but I did break 80 around Pinehurst.
Yeah, and you
off the US Open tees.
Yeah, and you're a tournament winner this year. So
yeah,
what were they expecting?
I don't know. They obviously don't understand how much excellence I actually pee.
Okay, so speaking on people not understanding how good the creators actually are, when the PGA Tour pros were all like, no one's going to break 40, someone's going to shoot 1 million.
Yeah.
That was because they thought the course was really, really hard.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is a difficult golf course. Can you talk us through the course a little bit, having played it, you spent a little bit of time in the rough that they warned us not to go into. Mm-hmm. You putted, I think, quite well on the greens.
Good. Yeah.
Your driver behaved itself, which was really, really nice. Talk us through the course. Was it playing as hard as they made it out?
No, I thought it was easy.
Don't tell them that.
In all fairness, some of the tee, they put us off the back tees, but they moved the markers up. So there were a few holes that, like the par 5, where I literally smashed it down there about 360 yards because it's all downhill. I think we were maybe about 30 yards up on that, so they could have put us further back, but that wouldn't have actually made much of a difference because it was so steeply downhill if you hit the fairway. The greens were the biggest challenge, everyone's spoken about, with them being new greens. They're just very firm. So if you pitched on some parts of it, they were just going to bound through. The first hole, hit a good drive down the right side, ended up in the rough, the Bermuda rough, so it's very weird consistency if you've not played Bermuda before. So it's kind of sank halfway down, managed to hit it towards the front of the green, and with a lob wedge, and it's just gone straight through to the back.
Yeah. Absolutely mad.
It was a bit disconcerting.
I was really happy with that shot as well. I was like, oh my God, that's going to be so good.
It's great.
And then because we couldn't really see where it was landing, we were kind of like, that must have like rolled out a couple of yards and be quite near the pin. And then we get there and you're like, oh, it's all the way back there.
Yeah, all the way back there. So I was like, oh wow, okay. So, and the pin was at the front, so I was left like a 50-footer down a slope. And I was a little bit twitchy over that. My hands were a little bit sweaty, but managed to get a two-putt, really good two-putt actually. And I thought, okay, that's good, that's settled me down. At the same point, Luke Kwon doubled that first hole, double bogeyed it, and then just went on an absolute tear, putted fantastically well. I think overall the course for me, and I was saying this to a few people there, and I was chatting to Joel Damon about it as well actually, who was like following our group doing the coverage for the network. And we've not really played that many courses in the States that are like championship tour venues. We've been to a few in Florida, and we've played a few like desert courses and stuff like that, but like a Parkland traditional golf course, not done a great deal. And I think that's definitely on my list to try and get back and play a few more of these like historic venues here.
Would you like to go and play the front nine at Eastlake that you didn't get to go and play?
Yeah, I want to do like an 18-hole video here. Yeah, definitely.
So Eastlake Golf Club, this is a shout out. We really liked the 8 holes of the golf course that we got to play. We'd like to play the other 10.
It would be great to do the others. So yeah, I'd love to come back do that. And like I said, hopefully we've got a few more contacts now where we can make these things happen. But yeah, tournament venues like the Oakmont, like Oak Hill, Congressional, Olympic Club. Yeah, these types of courses that are really Merion, historic Parkland courses that just not managed to get to. So it's inspired me to try and get back and do a few more.
Did you like the course?
Yeah, I thought it set up really fair in many respects, where you had a shot in front of you. There's a few holes where you had an option of what you could do. So it was like, play this way, lay up a little bit short, you'll have a longer approach in, or you could try and like cut a corner, for example. And the whole kind of layout, I loved it. I just loved the look of it. It just felt nice. I know the whole atmosphere was brilliant as well, but yeah, for me, I know there's a few people who don't like it, but I thought it was great. I thought it set up lovely.
And it obviously helped having a local caddy. We should give
Craig,
give a shout out to Craig for guiding us so wonderfully around that golf course.
He was pumped.
He was.
He was way more jacked up for it than I was. He was so excited.
Yeah, I was speaking to him before on the putting green when you were. It was probably when you were talking to Phil Kenyon and putting next, and Scotty Scheffler walked past you, and you were putting next to Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah, Scotty got my way.
Yeah, and we were saying. He was saying that basically they've only had the course, they've only been looping that course for 3 days by the time everyone turned up. So I said, oh, dude, like, we're going to rely on a little bit of your local knowledge if that's okay, because obviously we've not played it before. Pete hasn't brought a caddy. We did that on purpose because we wanted someone who has the local knowledge. And, Craig was great. He was really, really good. But he was like, listen, I've been around it probably about 6 times. Yeah. So... I know as much as you do at this point.
New to everyone. There's a few sections on it, like the 16th, where you kind of hit up the hill, the one where Rory kind of holed out when he won a few years ago here. There's this huge roll off to the right-hand side, which I went into, managed to get a bogey from there, which was pretty good in the end. But and then the 17th that we played, when I hit the drive, I thought I'd pulled it, but I ripped it. I hit it so well. I was really disappointed because I kind of hit it over the corner of a bunker and it actually went onto the second half of the fairway and ended up down by the green. Yeah. So, a little bit lucky, but again, it's a course that you could take a few chances on if you really want to.
I think in some instances, like that is an example of where not knowing the course probably helped you out. Because if you had known that there was that strip bunker there, you may not even have hit driver on that hole. Because there was danger there that you were definitely in reach of. Like, you got pretty lucky that you hit the ball really well and it ended up in a place where you had a shot into the green. Yeah. I think if you would have made some slightly different decisions if you had known the course a little bit better. But I think you played pretty well on a course which was set up for the big boys. You represented yourself well, I think.
Well, I had a chance with a putt on the last for birdie to get into like playoff to enter that final four, chip off.
A chip off. Yeah, so that was the other thing about the format, is when we had that meeting in the stand beforehand, they were saying, if it comes down to more than 4 people being in the top 4, we'll have a chip off to see who gets in. And everyone was like, a chip off?
A little bit disappointed we didn't see a chip off. So, yeah, it was good. Yeah, pleased with the way I played. Great crowds. Everything was really, really positive.
Now, I do have a burning question for you. Mm-hmm. There were some good players in the event. Mm-hmm. Should PGA Tour player Wes Bryan have been allowed to play?
People were getting some people were getting very uppity at this. And I know on No Lane Up podcast, they had a bit of a go at Wes as well. For me, I think it was great that he was there. I mean, it's a tournament that we played against each other, yes. 16 players all wanted to be in that final 4 and getting through. And Wes, obviously a great player, did manage to get through to that final 4. And people were saying, well, he's a PGA Tour winner. Yes, he makes videos, but it's silly that he was in this event. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, does it?
I know what you mean.
If we're being honest about it, yes, it would have been cool to win a bigger grill and to be in a PGA game. Absolutely fantastic. That's kind of like a money can't buy type of prize. What a chance that is. But it's on a Wednesday. We're not playing for any money. No one's life is going to be changed because of this event. It's fine. It's okay. It doesn't matter. Nobody got up on Thursday morning, fuming. The fact that Wes Bryan was playing in the Creator Classic. No one was, getting really angry. No one's, sat at the desk right now, just, staring into space, I can't believe it.
Can't believe they let him play.
I can't believe they let him play. What were they thinking? It's shocking.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. And Wes is a great guy. And, having him part of an event like this adds a lot more to it than it takes away.
Yeah. I'll take that. Now, and the other thing is that we should remind everyone that also Luke Kwon has won a PGA Tour event in China, Asia somewhere.
I've won a PGA event at Marsden Park.
There we go. Brad has played in the Masters.
Come on.
I think the other angle to think about it is that if you're going to open it up to, everyone who has a YouTube channel, does that mean that Bryson can play? Does that mean that Podrick Harrington can play?
Yeah, should have got Podrick.
Yeah, that would have been so good.
But everyone's got their own stories. Tyler from Dude Perfect. Tyler from Dude Perfect has nailed a basketball shot from 10,000 feet out of a helicopter.
He's thrown a frisbee at Augusta.
He's played Augusta as well.
with a snooker cue.
So, should he have played?
Yeah.
Anything in this kind of event is permissible because it's not been done before. It's fine. We can find a format that, if we want a real competition of everyone off the same ability levels type of thing, then fine. But that's not how competition works either. Wes being there, he's a good player. Cool. Well, let's try and beat him then. And Luke, who's also a good player, managed to do that. And he managed to do that starting with a double bogey as well. Yeah,
so let's talk through our group quickly, because we were very happy with our group.
Yeah.
Because I think that mindset of we're here to have a great time, we're here to entertain, we're here to enjoy ourselves. Yes, we're playing in a competition and there's a grill up for grabs, but we're here to enjoy the day. It's cool to meet fans. It's cool to a load of people who came up and said they loved the podcast, loved the channel. It's great. And we were very happy with the fact that we got a group of people who also had the same kind of mindset.
Yeah, cool.
Talk us through our group. Talk us through playing with the guys we got to play with.
Yeah, so we have Luke, who've obviously played and filmed with before. He's just he's a really, really good golfer. He's got such a good golf swing. And you can see and understand why he would win on PGA sanctioned events. He's just a really good player. And when we film with him and what he's doing now, he's just a great guy. So it was in a very, very awkward position, because if he'd have missed that par putt on the 8th, I would have been in the chip off to go down the last hole.
Yeah, that's true.
So I was
kind of rooting for him and rooting against him.
I was watching him putt, and I remember, I watched the footage back as well. You could just see, I could see myself what I was thinking, because I just had this smile on my head where I'm like, I really want him to make this because he's played really well. I want him to get through, you know, I want him to do really well. And there's just a voice in my head that's like, miss.
Please.
It's just like, I kind of want you to miss here, Luke.
Yeah.
I want
Luke, I love you, but please miss.
I really want a chance here. Come on, give it a miss.
Yeah.
Because if he'd have missed that putt, and it was funny because he had a birdie putt, he blazed it well past. He said after he hit it, he said, well, there's my chance gone. And then he goes like absolute balls of steel to hold that putt. Because if he'd have missed that, it'd have been me, it'd been Micah in there as well.
Brad potentially, I think.
Brad, yeah.
There was a few people who were counting on
counting
on him missing that.
So it was great. And obviously, he went through to win. And then Micah, who I was really, really happy actually that he played well. Because he's a good golfer. There's no doubt about that. But certainly the stick he got after the cue at Myrtle Beach, and he seems to be unfairly targeted when he plays poorly. Now, you know, with my new fresh mindset about not letting the outside noise affect you, yada yada yada, it's fine in theory, but like eventually, if people are just like literally chirping at you all the time about how bad you are, you know, you shouldn't be making the content because you're not a good golfer, blah 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 blah, it's going to get to you eventually. And you know, I was just really happy that he played well, holed some great putts, and was right in there. And obviously, you know, we filmed with him, played with him, spent a lot of time with him. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, it was my first time meeting him, and I said, like, I have liked watching him on YouTube, you know, before I got to meet him. And I said, like, I'm so happy for you, because I felt he did was like he silenced the critics a little bit, because in the past, you know, at the Q, previous PGA, you know, he's played some bigger competitions, and he hasn't represented himself in the way that I think he would have wanted to. So it was lovely to see him go out and be right in the mix all the way right to the end.
Great.
Yeah, and also like one of the nicest dudes ever. He's so cool. He's got time for everyone. He's great. I really, really enjoyed it.
Well, there's so many as well. Like everyone that we've met over the course of the last few days that we hadn't met previously as well. Like, they're all just like one of the best things about YouTube, and there are occasions where you do meet kind of YouTubers, and not just from golf, but we're talking like the whole kind of, what's the word, environment, the whole jungle of what YouTube is. And you do meet some people and you're like, he might be a bit of a dick.
Yep, and we're going to name names right now. Down that camera, who do you think is a dick?
But in golf, like, genuinely, I think we're really lucky that like, pretty much everyone that I've met, well, really everyone I've met, it's just been just normal, good people who like golf, just making videos and just realizing how lucky that we are to be doing this. So, you know, to have everyone like that in that environment is great. And yeah, like I said, I just think Mike sometimes get unfairly criticised for like having a few bad games of golf. Like it's not the end of the world.
He is very, very, very good.
Yeah, exactly. And then last member of our group, Mac Boucher, we filmed with before, like know him now. He's a great guy.
Love him.
And he's been struggling. Like he's practically got a disassociated thumb.
Yeah, his thumb had a different tee time to him.
It's not connected to his body at the moment. So he was really, really struggling, but like gritted through, played. And again, like he was someone else who like got criticised for.
He gets it online all the time.
This is one thing which really confuses me. So one thing that Mac does like really better than anyone, not so much trick shots, but he can manipulate, move the ball, do things that really not many other people can. So he was hitting a right-handed driver left-handed. He was like flipping upside down, so the toe was on the ground behind the ball, and then he was just like smoking this thing kind of all over the course. Yeah, he had a couple of bad shots, but he also almost drove it past me on that par 5 down the hill.
Yeah. The thing is, he also has played some, you know, he's very, very, very good. He's really, really good.
And like people like really get on his back about like hitting the shots which got him in this event in the first
Yeah,
place.
that's the other thing, is that like the reason they invited him was because he's really entertaining to watch. What do you want him to do? Go out and hit everything straight and boring?
It's so weird. I find it really, really confusing. But also, potentially, that was one of the criticisms of the event. So, the production and the way that it was all handled was very much a PGA Tour style coverage on a new style of an event. And I think a lot of people would say that they watch certain creators and they're into YouTube because it's possible for us to bring our personalities out a lot more.
Correct.
And that wasn't possible to the same degree on this event. We weren't mic'd up, you know. It was a tournament, so they were filming lots of different people, lots of different places, lots of different shots. So maybe that was one of the criticisms. But yeah, for Mac, like literally getting into this event because of the content he makes, and the content he makes is to a large degree based around how he can manipulate a golf ball through the air and do these kind of trick shots. It was silly. It would have been weird if he didn't do that. Yeah,
imagine if I had said this to him, was like, in theory, he could go out and challenge. Obviously, like the way that he plays golf is to enjoy himself and to provide entertainment. He's not going out there to try and win the flaming thing. He said that beforehand. He was like, I don't care about winning. I just want to have a great time, and I want to get some clips from this of me doing crazy stuff that I'm really good at. So that was his attitude, and it worked.
And you know, we've been doing this long, and I've been doing this a long time now, to know that if Mac had just played his like a normal golf game, so he'd like try to hit it down the middle, you know, find the greens and all the rest of it, the same people who were like, oh, I can't fucking imagine what they sound like. Oh, I can't believe you were fake. You were hitting these right-handed clubs left-handed and not taking it seriously. If he'd have played normally, they'd have been like, why weren't you doing your trick shots and bending it round the corner? I can't believe it.
You cannot make everyone happy. There's absolutely no way.
And you know what? She'll want to make everyone happy. Because you know what? Not everyone deserves to be happy.
Wow. That's savage. We'll take that one. Okay, so this is the other question. We're talking about the broadcast.
If you aren't happy out there, by the way, I hope you do find happiness.
Peter Finch does not endorse that message.
I was still in the headspace of an angry
commenter.
Sorry.
Get out of the keyboard warrior mindset. Remove that voice from your lexicon. Talking about the broadcast, you told me this morning something very, very interesting, which is that the numbers of people who have watched it, even though, yes, there were some things that could have been done better, and we'll get into that, the number of people who watched it is so big. It eclipses the live broadcasts. I wonder if, and this is a little bit, it may even eclipse the amount of people who end up watching the Tour Championship.
I mean,
the amount of views that is on the video is staggering for how long it's been out.
So, yeah, it's been out a day, and I think just as we started recording, I had a check, and it was 1.4 million on the live stream. And as you mentioned, like contrasting that to the last live event, which was Greenbrier, that was on 148.
And hasn't that been out for like 2 weeks now?
Yeah. So
148,000, not 148 million.
148,000. So it's one of those interesting dynamics where, yes, what the Career Classic showed is that there is an audience there on YouTube which is engaged with the people who were playing. They wanted to see them in this format, to take part in an event like this, and it's done really, really well. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, like, we know that audience is there, and they will support pretty much kind of what we do. And, you know, that's what the PGA wanted. They wanted that audience to come over, see a little slice of what the Tour Championship is, and then hopefully they'll stick around and watch and be more engaged with what the PGA Tour are doing. If that will happen, if that's the case, literally only time will tell. But the best thing about YouTube is that you can see and that the numbers are there. So when it goes over to like a TV broadcast, you don't have that same amount of information. So we won't really know like how many people are watching this event. It probably will come out eventually.
Comment below if you're actually going to watch the Tour Championship. Let's have a in the comments. Did you watch the Creator Classic? And then are you going to watch the Tour Championship? We'll get the data for them.
I don't know how.
Let's have all 1.9 million people in the comments,
I don't know
please.
how accurate this is going to be.
Okay, so speaking of the success of the Creator Classic, do you think that the success of the Creator Classic means that this type of event is going to happen more often?
To a limited degree, yeah.
Okay.
So I would say the PGA Tour, for example, could expand this. So like make it 18 holes, get more people involved. Maybe not do it at the Tour Championship. Potentially do this at another event, or potentially host a completely separate event where this is the main draw, the main feature. So this isn't like tagged onto a tour event. This is an event. That could really start a new phase in what YouTube golf is. Because we've spoken about this, and this was some of the chats and the conversations and the whispers in dark corners that I've been having this week. How do we get this event, which everybody wants to see, where all the big creators in golf come together, play in the same event, do a big tournament? Good have tried it a little bit this year. I think they did a pretty good job considering it was the first time. Rick's done something similar with the YouTube Golf Day, although that was a few years ago. That was really before the big rise of the American creators. So this big event where everybody is together, a Ryder Cup style format, for example.
It would be incredible.
It would be insane. It would be incredible. But there are so many barriers now that could stop it happening. So potentially you need somebody like a PGA Tour that could host it on their channel, that could incentivize everybody to come, and then all of a sudden you've got this huge event which would really eclipse and knock out, without being too, self-promoting, too self-serving, too self-confident about it. An event like that would pretty much eclipse all the numbers that many tour events get during the regular season. We're not talking about PGA. We're not talking about Tour Championship, for example. That's always going to get good views because it's the last event. We're not talking about the majors. They're still the actual premium thing in both men's and women's golf that people want to watch. Ryder Cup, Solheim Cup, completely separate entity. Like they're up there with the most viewed events in the world consistently. Like they're fantastic to watch. Love that. But as far as a week-to-week tour event, if you want eyeballs and you want people to be engaged with something which is happening, then some kind of creator event, some kind of Ryder Cup kind of show is what is really going to start shifting the needle. And like I said, move YouTube into YouTube golf into kind of a different category, a different phase. We're all doing things individually. We do come together for collaborations, which will obviously continue. It's great. But to get everyone there at one time, that's going to take a separate unifier to just bring it all together. It's going to take a chef to take all these ingredients, stick them in a pot, and just make the best tasting stew.
Ramen.
Ramen.
Pete had very spicy ramen yesterday.
It's such a spicy ramen yesterday.
Now, I think the Ryder Cup debate is very interesting, and maybe we'll do a separate video or a separate podcast on who your US versus rest of the world teams would be.
Yeah.
The Creator Classic was, in my mind and in yours, a great success. However, what do you think they could have done differently, and what should they change for next time?
So probably more people trying to find a date where all the biggest creators could be there. Definitely. I think having more screen time for everybody, having everybody mic'd up, having a great amount of cameras on there, having a greater amount of coverage, having the play kind of a little bit more closely monitored as far as speed. Like it'd take quite a long time to get through those 8 holes. So there's a lot that could be done. Probably less adverts as well.
Yeah, we did hear a lot about the adverts on the broadcast.
Because this is, I did listen to a little bit of the No Lane Up podcast this morning when they were like unfairly kind of targeting Wes, it seemed a little bit again, which was weird. But they said something which I thought was very, very accurate. Like they took a new event and commercialized it to the same degree as a PGA Tour event, which is a bit jarring, because it's not really what YouTube Golf is about. We don't have these kind of huge intersection like infomercials from Blackstone, because I think they had like 3 2-minute, 3-minute segments of people like cooking on a Blackstone and like explaining what it was. Why? You had Jason Bourne like, tossing burgers on there. It seemed,
I don't even know who I am.
Yeah, but I can cook. So it seemed a bit weird in that extent. But to put these events on, obviously you need the funding, which is why I think, like as mentioned, you need someone like a PJ to bring it together, because they have that commercial knowledge and nous to be able to bring something like this together. That side of things, I don't really know anything about. I'm way too stupid to be able to bring something like that together. So that was a little bit of a complaint that some people had. But I think overall, for a first event, it was good. Like, you can't really argue with the numbers, and the amount of positive comments is definitely outweighing any negatives.
18 holes?
18 holes, obviously.
A different feed for each group, so you could watch just that group?
Love that.
More grills?
100% more grills.
Fewer adverts?
Grill on every hole.
Oh my gosh.
You got to eat a burger after every bogey you make. Yeah, there's loads of stuff. There's loads of stuff. I think with every other add-on will come in an additional problem that needs to be solved.
Yeah.
But just think about what this year, how much it's already moved on in a single year. When the powers that be within the game, we're talking PGA Tour is a big entity within golf. We're talking about DP World Tour, who we've done work with before. We're talking about kind of LIV. We're talking about the RNA. We're talking about the USGA. We're talking about all these big kind of needle movers within golf. They're all looking at what is happening on YouTube Golf, and they want to be involved. They want to try and get creators, engage them so they can get the benefit of a whole audience that they're not able to touch. Because traditionally, somebody who's watching an 18-hole, 2.5-hour major from Good probably won't be that bothered about watching the Travelers.
It's true.
So how do you get that audience from Good to be interested in tour golf? Obviously, a sweeping generalization here. So all the big players want to understand how it's going to work. And we've already had Good trying to do these live events, made a decent job of it. We've got the PGA Tour with this, making a good first attempt and being all pretty positively received.
Yeah. The Q as well.
The Q at Myrtle Beach.
As well.
What a massive success that was as well. All these things they're really building up, and they're getting more and more commonplace. Might not be next year, might be the year after, that something massive takes place.
You heard it here first. The Creator Tour. The creators play 18 holes before each PGA Tour event, and it all ends up on the internet.
I don't think it needs that. I honestly don't think it needs that. What you're going to see is, realistically, and I think this is probably more likely as well, is you're going to see a big company, or you're going to see pro shops, you're going to see somebody who has the understanding of how the commercial side of business works, setting up something where all the creators are going to attend, they're going to play together, it's going to be hosted on no one's channel, but
that's the other sticking point, isn't it?
It's going to be hosted on a separate channel.
Yeah, there's whenever we do a collaboration, there's always a little bit of a conversation about who gets the video, whose channel does it end up on. So that removes that question from the conversation, doesn't it?
So it could be something like Play Golf Myrtle Beach. Their channel, it was putting out some promotional content, a few kind of golfy kind of videos, but nothing major. Put out the Q, it's 1 million views.
Yeah,
just like that, bang. So it doesn't have to be on an individual channel to gather the amount of views necessary to make it a success if people are putting money into sponsoring. But you do need that commercial side to get everybody there. The chances are that we've taken a little bit of a hit this week getting here because of the cost of the flights and the hotel. So we'll be losing out a little bit. Not a lot, but it was worth coming over for. Realistically, if you're going to get everybody in one spot, they need to be paid to be there.
Yeah, that's the other sticking point, is that it does cost money to put one of these things on. You've got to get people there. You know, not only have they got to get you there, they've got to get someone, in most cases, someone to carry your bag. You're going to want someone to film. And, you know, it does cost money, which is why you can understand the Blackstone thing, is that, you know, Blackstone have probably paid a load of cash to be
of course,
on the broadcast.
How many grills did they sell? How many grills are they going to have to sell to pay for it?
I'd love to see the numbers. 1.9 million grills, I heard.
It's a lot of grilling.
It's a lot of grills.
So
yes, the money is obviously important.
Yeah.
Where it ends up on someone's channel doesn't really matter, as long as people see it.
But also, if you give people the opportunity to create content, not just from the event, but also around it.
Yeah, which was...
Again, it will probably cost more money, but it's an essential. You know, say, okay, you know, come here, play in this event. This is what you're going to be kind of compensated for being here. These are the expenses that you can have for getting people over. And the week afterwards, we've also got this whole kind of time section booked out at this golf course where everyone can like collaborate and get together. And all the
great idea. Everyone's already there. They may as well.
Yeah, and everybody knows this will happen. Everyone knows this has to happen, but it's going to be very difficult for somebody to stick the hand up and say, I'm going to do this, I'll get this all organised, and it's going to be this. It's great to talk about, great to think about what it could be, but it's going to take someone a group to kind of get this together.
Shall we throw to future us to talk about the Tour Championship? Got anything else to add on your Creator Classic?
I don't think so. Probably the only other thing I just want to add, like, just say a big thank you to PJ Tour for actually getting us down and inviting us and letting us be part of it.
Thank you for having us. We had a wonderful time.
Been great.
Everyone has treated us like royalty. It has been ludicrous to be staying in a hotel where, while I was sat in the lobby this morning, let me work out what happened. Tommy Fleetwood was there. He was just there. And then Adam Scott walked past me, which I will probably be thinking about in my dreams for the next 10 years. Collin Morikawa, in my naughty dreams. Sahith Theegala. Who else did we see?
Well, everyone, really.
Scheffler was out on the practice greens.
Justin Thomas was there when I kind of walked past him. Quick
I introduced myself to Bob from Bob Does Sports, and I turned around and almost bumped into Keegan Bradley. So that was cool. Rory saw us getting in the lift.
Yeah, he watched us, like stared at us.
It was a bit odd.
It was quite funny actually coming down, and you were like sat across from Tommy Fleetwood. Like, I'm not sure I've ever seen you so like sheepish before. Like,
it was like, so weird.
Like, well, it's always like head just goes like slightly more into the shoulders, like shoulders lift up a little bit, like trying to make yourself a tiny bit smaller.
Yeah, I was. Do you know what it was? Before he came and sat. I was sat there, and he came and sat down. You know, waiting to get their shuttle to the course or whatever. I was sat there and I was like just flicking through TikTok, and I had my sound on a little bit so I could hear. And when he came and sat down, I turned it down. I was so nervous.
It's quite funny. I know Tommy a little bit, and I kind of went over, said hello, and just like to see you as well, like with your eyes go wide. It's quite funny.
You shook his hand. Your hand has touched Tommy Fleetwood.
I watched it before as well. God,
why? Why would you do that?
I think the only time when we were on the green putting and Scotty Scheffler, I don't know what it is about like putting green etiquette. So I was put into a hole and I was hitting like a 20-foot putt. I was just trying to understand how fast these bloody greens were. So I've got 3 balls on the green. I've hit 1 ball. It's trickled past about 4 or 5 feet. And then Scotty Scheffler like rocks up and starts putting to the same hole. But he has a putt, and it's like 12 foot away, has a putt, and it just kind of misses. So I'm like lining up my second putt, and I'm like, do I want to start putting to this hole? Because the chances are, this is like the 3rd putt of it on this green or whatever it is, I don't want to smash it past and look like an absolute tool in front of Scotty Scheffler. I don't want to leave it like that far short. And what if I hole it and like, there's his balls in the hole, my ball, and like we go over and we have to have like this awkward moment where we're like
your balls are touching,
both trying to get our balls out. And I'm like, so I ended up just like picking my balls up and like just like walking to the other side of the green.
It's just not worth it.
I couldn't cope. I think that might be the first time that like I wasn't starstruck, but I was aware of the situation.
Exactly.
And I was a bit like, oh, yeah, I didn't really want to go over like introduce myself or anything like that. So
I think like it was so cool, man. Like always, and it is a great privilege to get to come and do this stuff and to get to be as close as we have been to the people who we watch on TV. But you have to also remember that he's just a human. Like, he is just a man.
Oh, yeah. No, honestly. Like,
but it doesn't feel like that when you're on the putting green
honestly,
and he's there wearing his golf gear. It does feel weird.
It's something
Ludwig Aberg as well. We met him.
Yeah. He's very tall.
Yeah.
It's something which surprised me, like, since I've been doing this. I honestly haven't been starstruck, like, with really anybody. I think when I interviewed Rory at the Open, I got nervous because I was like, I'm not really used to interviewing people properly, so I don't know what to ask him. So I bumbled my way through that a bit. And then, Scotty on the green the other day was the first time I was like, oh, God, what do I actually do? Like, what do I do here?
Do I need to do anything different? Do I bow?
What's the etiquette?
do I avert my eyes?
Yeah, because like you said, they are they're normal people, just very good at golf.
Yeah, they just happen to be excellent at something.
Very good at golf. Although I didn't... I almost... obviously, I like dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, I like dogs. Love dogs. And Atlanta, by the way, is absolutely resplendent with...
It's dog central. Everyone's got one.
Fabulous pooches walking
Yeah, there was a
around.
lot of dogs out.
I did almost, like, grab Collin Morikawa's dog. Did you...
I didn't see that. Tell that story. That's going on the internet. Go on.
So... So all the players are staying in this hotel, and obviously you can kind of bring pets in. And Collin Morikawa and his wife had like the cutest dog, like he's so cute. But anyway, I clocked this dog kind of coming into the hotel lobby. I was kind of walking past.
Yeah, I clock tour pros. Pete clocks dogs,
obviously, and he had like little shoes on, and I was like, oh my God. And like it was walking towards me, and I think I made like a little noise like that.
Oh my God!
And it was quite early in the morning as well, and I felt myself like, because he was walking towards the lifts and I was walking out, and I felt myself like dipping to like give this dog like a proper smush, like, and I was like, I'd probably dropped in height by about a foot, I'd say, before I like clocked that like. Colin's wife was basically walking directly behind the dog, and I like made this like awkward like movement of I was like you stretch your back in the morning, like oh, I like just took a little sidestep and just kind of let them.
I really wanted to say hi to your dog, but I realised that you were Collin Morikawa.
It was his wife.
Oh, just the wife.
Just the wife, yeah. So yeah, that was almost an embarrassing moment.
Well, great work. There was a lot of dogs. There was a lot of tour pros. You played very well. The weather was wonderful. Food was good. Should we fly home?
Yeah, why not? Have we got time for another coffee? What time is it?
What time are we on?
Yeah, I suppose we should probably get a taxi. Flight's at 6, isn't it? So
yeah, we got to go.